Folks, I figured it out. I know why these UCF fans are acting like such clowns all over and to everybody. I'm going to give you 3 reasons why they need to shut up. Coming at you.
Let's go!
Welcome back to Hall of Fame College Football. I'm your host, Jason Watkins. We're soon to be coming to you live 5 days a week, and we are brought to you by Sunrise Publishing, Hall of Fame Media, and our friends over at Louisiana Grills. Jump onto our partner link right now. Get in there, check out some of the most amazing grills and smokers. Go check it out. We are also partnered up, as you know, with Fanatics. You get up to 65% off everything on the Fanatics store just by using our link, hofmedia.us/fanatics. That's hofmedia.us/fanatics. But today we are going to get into, I knew there was something familiar and irritating as shit all about this whole UCF thing. I knew what it was. And you know what? It kind of hit me the other day. It just kind of hit me. When Gus Malzahn got in front of that camera the other day and said, quote, "You hear about the big 3, Florida, Florida State, Miami. It's time to talk about a big 4. You look at the last 6 to 8 years, and we've been as good or better than any of the other programs." It kind of reminds me of, I want to say it's something like Okie Light. Just like when Okie Light says, "Well, we're number 2 in the last 10 years in wins. We've had more wins than anybody else except for Oklahoma." Except for Oklahoma. They are not a big 4, and they're certainly not on the level of Oklahoma. This has been going on for about 10 days now. These people, they've got this stupid opinion. It's this high opinion. They're acting just like how you see a lot of fans from Oklahoma State acting, and then you'll see a lot of them from Texas A&M acting the same way about Texas. They're so pissed off about Texas coming to the SEC. Same kind of thing. This is the same kind of thing right here. You've got fans attacking. First off, it's weird that they started off attacking one of their former quarterbacks in Dylan Gabriel. But before that, they were attacking another former quarterback in Milton, who's now a graduate assistant for Tennessee and head coach Josh Heupel. He made a statement about rules. It was a political statement, but it had to do with his morals as a Christian. And so they attacked him over it. I mean, if you go onto Twitter and see what was said, it was probably 1,000 to 1 good versus bad. And we're talking about people from Florida, by the way. Florida. But Cody Stovall from Locked On Oklahoma State goes on, kind of crashes on him, trashes him pretty good there on Twitter and on his show. And then he ends up having the guy from Sons of Anarchy come on his show. Well, then he comes in with this. Well, let's just go in and kind of take a look at that. He gets
Oklahoma. So UCF will travel to Oklahoma. And so obviously it's a big game because it's Oklahoma, right? And Oklahoma has all this other stuff. But if you follow anything close enough, the Oklahoma starting quarterback is one Dylan Gabriel, who transferred from UCF. His departure did not go over well. There were certainly a bunch of comments, after he leaves about some of the things that he did in the locker room. And, the rumor mill always starts and everyone always starts talking about what they heard. So, I wouldn't say he's a beloved figure in UCF Nation right now. So I think everyone would love to go into Norman, obviously a huge road game, take the new mantle.
They're happy to be coming into the Big 12, and their biggest reason is because they want to play Oklahoma. They want to get a shot at Dylan Gabriel and get a chance to beat him and blah, 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 blah. Well, so we throw it out there. and man, they were trashing him. You know, on my video, you've got them trashing Dylan, talking about that. Essentially, I don't know anybody that disliked Milton from UCF. I hope he returns to coach someday. UCF fans talked trash though against Florida, Auburn, and Georgia too, all W's, because it got to where they were talking a bunch of crap about that they were going to beat Oklahoma. You know, came from this guy here. He said sock boy, called him sock boy, and was saying that he wasn't hurt after all, because after when Malzahn got the head coaching job, rather than Jeff Levy, who apparently uh he was in there rooting for, right? And in fact, a lot of the team was pushing for Jeff Levy to become head coach at UCF. It didn't happen. He ends up over at Ole Miss. Okay. Well, they're trying to act like that was all, that the reason that Dillon Gabriel sat was because Levy didn't get the job. Okay. He said that he knew he intentionally sat because he knew he was walking and was cleared to play early in the season. And they continue to say that they're just going to take it to DG when they get there. And then you got the other person saying that, you know, hey, UCF fans, we do talk trash, but we talk trash against Florida, Auburn, and Georgia, all W's, going on to say later that, you know, we this was probably the best one. We won the AAC in 2013, our first year in the conference, went to a BCS bowl as a 17.5-point dog. What happened? We did all that. I guess they won. I don't a BCS bowl, maybe. We did all that with a fourth of the average of the Big 12 budget. Y'all ain't ready. Okay, bud. First off, let me just tell you the 3 reasons why that's a bunch of crap. And it's the same 3 reasons that Gus Malzahn's full of crap too. All right. Out of their First and foremost, I have a hard time understanding why you would come in as a group of 5 school. As I talked about on the thing the other day, we're talking about a program who, yeah, they've had some decent wins. That Coley Matrix national championship that they claim, though, what a freaking joke. And that's exactly what, if you look at this screenshot here that I have, that's exactly what they have for this. Oh, dang it. On the Coley Matrix deal, they've got the screenshot up there of, or that's what this person that keeps on. Yeah. So let's see. Let me take that off of there too. So as you can see, this person, I don't remember what they'd put their name the other day. It was something different, but they've got it at 2017 national champions. We won the AAC, the American Conference, in 2013, the first year in the league. Went to a BCS bowl as a 17-point dog. What happened? I don't know. We did all that with a fourth of the average Big 12 budget. Y'all ain't ready. Okay. Well, I'm going to give you 3 reasons why this is BS and you're not going to have it. First and foremost, this is not the American Conference. Okay. And not only is it not a Big 4 in Florida, because not that, I mean, wow. I got to tell you, you definitely got under the skin of these guys, but there's no way that you guys are on the level of even Miami, who's been as bad as they have for the last 20 years. I'm doubting you beat them most of the time. And here's why: recruiting. So your average recruiting, here's the reason why. Reason number 1. I told you I'm going to give you 3 reasons. Here's reason number 1: recruiting. UCF's average recruiting ranking in the country by the 247 composite for the last 8 years is 68th. 68th. During that time, your best ranking, UCF, has been 39th in recruiting. 39th. The worst, 70. and it hovers right around that all the time with a rank of 68. Florida State and Miami both average a ranking of about 15. Okay. Florida averages a little better at 14. The best ranking that the Gators have ever had in that 8-year stretch there, number 8. Florida State had the number 1 ranking one year, and then Miami's also ranked as high as 8th in the recruiting for a cycle. Their worst rankings for Florida, 21st. Florida State's highest ranking has been 14. Miami, which has had the worst ranking of the 3 during that 8-year stretch, was 26. Still 13 spots better than UCF's best year on the recruiting trail. Its best year on the recruiting trail. Okay. Now let's go to Oklahoma. Since you think you're going to take it to Oklahoma and DG and everybody else, even after the team was gutted this past season by Lincoln Riley, let's go back and look at why it's not on the anything that you do is not on the level of any of these 4 powerhouse football programs. Not that Miami's really one anymore. Oklahoma's average ranking over the last 8 years has been 10. This past season, best ranking, the last cycle, the 2023 cycle, is the best ranking in 247 history for Oklahoma at number 4. The worst ranking they had was number 19, which is a little higher than Florida State's worst ranking, but their average is better than everybody of the big 3 in Florida. You're going to come in talking smack about a team that's headed in to the SEC after this season, but averages the last 2 years have been number 8 and number 4. The last 2 recruiting cycles since Brent Venables got to town. You're nowhere close. You're nowhere close. And then now let's look at that reason number 2. Strength of schedule. UCF's average strength of schedule playing in the American Conference, where you have Tulane and Temple and ECU, East Carolina, that is, Tulsa, Memphis. I mean, Tulane had a great year last year. Good for them. Cincinnati's been to the playoff. You haven't. You still haven't. Memphis has been pretty good at times. But none of these teams are recruiting at the or none of them are making up your schedule to be anything better than an average of number 68 in the country in strength of schedule. Oklahoma's average, 31st. Playing in the Big 12, 31st. They've had a season that was as high up there as like 14th. But they've had some seasons that were in the 40s. Florida is the highest, playing in the SEC at number 19. They've had ridiculous schedules the last 2 seasons. Florida State at 35. Miami's right around 38 on their average ranking for the last 8 years too. Just because you get up for somebody in a bowl game doesn't mean that you're getting their best game, number 1. And good for you for beating the teams that you beat. But the Auburn win, come on. The one that you claim your national championship and hung a banner there at your stadium. It's so little brother of you to do that, by the way. So little brother of you to do that. It's like that 1945 freaking national championship claim of Oklahoma State when all the men were off at war. And it was actually won by Notre Dame. Get out of here with that stuff. All right. There, and here we go with that. Just to talk about that a little bit. Reason number 3. Let's talk national championships. First and foremost, your program's only had like 200 wins all time. You haven't been around for a long time at all. But let me drive it home for you just a little bit. Oklahoma's won more conference championships than anybody else in the country. 50 of them. 50. Okay. But let's get into national championships, since you're claiming one and think you're part of the Big 4. Even as bad as Florida State, and Miami have been over the last few years, the last 10 years, looking like Florida State's on its way back. They all could back at some point. Florida and Florida State both have 3 of them. Miami has 4. Oklahoma has won 7, which is 3rd all time behind Alabama and Notre Dame. Okay. 3rd all time. Oh, goodness. Then you've got, your Coley Matrix thing. Let me tell you a little bit about the Coley Matrix National Championship thing. I find this pretty crazy. Got to looking through that. Just since the playoffs started, and actually before the playoffs started, when you just had the BCS, the final year of the BCS was 2012, right? 2012. In that year, Alabama played Notre Dame for the national championship in the BCS championship game, routing the Irish 42-14. The Coley Matrix still named the Irish national champions when they just got beat head to head. 2016, Clemson beats Alabama in the college football playoff national championship game 35-13, and yet the Coley Matrix still makes Alabama the national champion. Not Clemson, who just beat them up, right? Then the next year is Alabama goes 13-1 on the season, wins the college football playoff over Georgia in an epic game there. 1 loss. They had one of the toughest schedules in the country. You had the number 83 schedule in the country that year. The number 83. I just saw that one a few seconds ago. But in that year, they beat Georgia for the national championship. You beat Auburn, who didn't get into the playoff at all, and you claim that national championship. You see, these obscure championships, and they happen. The official national title has always been either through the AP, the BCS, or the CFP. Those are the official national championships. They've had split nationals because they had the coaches poll in the past before. Now all that's all together, but there was different ways of going about it. Now, if you take a look at, Florida State, and Miami, they've all had multiple national titles given to them by an obscure poll or whatever that they didn't claim. They don't claim it. They don't have rings for it. They don't hang banners for it, right? 2 of them for Florida. Florida State's had 5 championships they didn't claim, and Miami's had 4. Oklahoma has not claimed 10 by these obscure different polls. It just like Okie Light, you're claiming this Coley Matrix one, and between the other 4 schools, they've not claimed 21 of them. And if you can go ahead and say that Auburn team beat Bama that year, they did. Go back and look at how. And listen, it's a rivalry game. It happens. That was Alabama's 1 loss to the number 14 team. But they had to go through a gauntlet that you'll never that year, your strength of schedule, 83. Theirs was 15. Number 15 in the country. It's not even close. Not even close. So you've got real national championships. You've got fake national championships. You have recruiting averages that are nowhere near a power program. You've been in a G5 program. That's why you have G5 recruiting rankings. Bottom line, plain and simple. Then you've got a strength of schedule that is also along the lines of a G5 school. It's crazy that you would come into your new Power 5 conference, kind of, the year before Oklahoma and Texas leave and go spouting your mouth off about how great you're going to be. You're coming into this conference and going to win it in year one. Pounding on your chest, you're going to take it to Oklahoma and Dylan Gabriel. Such an Okie light little brother thing to do, and that's exactly what it is. I saw pictures of you guys. We'll pop it up right here. Look at this. We want respect. Not we want Bama. We want respect. This is what the kind of stuff that you guys talk about all the time. You actually called Dylan Gabriel a woman for freaking wanting Jeff Lebby to be the head coach. Right? It amazes me what's going on here, but it just wild, right? Hey, here's the deal. I'm just going to tell you, I just gave you 3 reasons that there's no way. You're just not you're not ready for this conference. If anybody's not ready, it's you UCF fans. You know, if it hadn't been for the season, and Oklahoma had its worst season in 20 plus years this past season, after it got gutted by Lincoln Riley and his shadiness and everything. And I'll talk to you a little bit about that more in just a few minutes. But even with that kind of a season, which nobody in Norman is happy about. In fact, nobody's even given a lot of excuses for it. They expect it to be turned around. As Oklahoma fans, we expect it to be turned around now. Right now. And they're recruiting like that. Number 8, in a month, whenever Venables and his coaching staff got to Norman, by the time all was said and done on the 23 cycle, number 4 in the country. They look like they're probably going to recruit right around there again if these commitments continue to fall in the order that they're thinking it is particularly along that defensive line. But let's not worry about that right now. Through the portal, you're looking at, with the portal class plus the high school kids that they brought in, 3 5-star players, 2 of them on the defense, which is what needed the most help. Considerably better players through the portal than you've got on your team. And a quarterback that you liked so much that you're pissed off that he left, but you're bashing him and saying you're going to take it to him. It seems to me like if you were ever going to catch Oklahoma at a time that you might be able to maybe beat them, so that they might overlook you, it would be if you came in quietly. But no, you're going to run off at the mouth and talk about how they are going to take it to Dylan Gabriel. And I've even seen some stuff that it takes some cheap shots. They're going to pound him. They're going to punish him. I've heard that. Well, good luck with that. Good luck with that. Because I can tell you now, this team loves Dylan Gabriel. They're not going to have it. That's their quarterback. They're not going to have it. You can bet on that. Bet on it. If you'd have kind of played nice and played quietly, but no, it's just like Texas A&M and just like Oklahoma State. They just get this, oh, we don't get enough respect. We don't get the respect we deserve because we're, not Texas or we're not Oklahoma. And you guys aren't Florida or Florida State or Miami. I have literally never, ever seen creators from Florida taking up for Miami and Florida State. I've never seen creators from Florida State taking up for and vouching for Miami and Florida. I've never seen creators from Miami vouching for Florida State and Florida until now. Until Coach Malzahn made that stupid statement that we can all shoot full of bullet holes. And I just figured it out. That's what it's totally little brother-esque. Completely little brother-esque. We can sit here and I could throw out 50 more reasons why you're not on the level of even those schools, not particularly not Oklahoma, though. You're not one of the big 3 in Florida. You're not big nothing outside of it. Nothing. Bring it on. Keep talking and watch yourself get rolled all the way through the Big 12. Because I think even Okie Light's better than you. And they're not that good this year. they're going to whip your ass too, probably in your house. But it's such a little brother way. It's just like Texas A&M fans and Oklahoma State fans. And honestly, that whole little tirade the little tirade that Malzahn had on Wednesday, go back and watch it again, Oklahoma fans. It kind of reminds you of Mike Gundy. We deserve to be talked about too. Such a shame. Such a shame. You guys got to do better. And all you had to do is come in quiet. Maybe I think some people, were saying they might have even been rooting for you in Florida had you not come in like that. And had you not come in as talking about Big Four. Think about it. If you'd have played the schedule that Florida played, what do you think your record would have been? I'm going to tell you, you'd have been lucky to go 6-6, probably any of those years in the SEC with that recruiting. Lucky to go 6-6. In the ACC, Big 12, probably same. I don't think you're doing much better there. You're not recruiting well enough. And getting up for one game a year isn't the same as getting up for everybody as a Power 5 school every week. Get ready. I'm gonna check back in on you guys periodically since we're talking so much trash. Can't wait. I just can't wait. I cannot wait until we get to talk about this again. Hey, as a content creator, I'm here for it. Talk all the smack you want to. Just don't get it twisted that, anybody's going to care or give you your props when you're the one painting the freaking targets on your back, talking all that smack. You haven't done anything yet. The Coley Matrix National Championship, nobody gives a shit about that. Nobody. You should take the banner down and go win a real one. Another Okie Light thing to do. Golly. Totally Okie Light. All right, guys. Moving on to the next focus of this. Let's 4-star. As we were talking about on the video that I did, I just got it produced for this morning. You had Midland Reporter Telegram sports editor Oscar Leroy and I had a talk. We were doing some talk about what's been going on there at Texas Tech. And it kind of was already starting to look like you were going to have Ivan Carry-On maybe flip to Oklahoma. It has happened since that interview. I did put it in the interview for, to be obvious for everybody to know it. But, it's been going around since yesterday anyway. On Thursday, Carry-On decommitted from Texas Tech, saying that he was opening his recruitment back up as of Friday, Saturday. It was Friday during my live stream, they were talking about it, that he announced that he would indeed be going to Oklahoma. As we had talked about earlier in the week, he was at the Champ U barbecue with his family. They seemed to very much be impressed with the program, with the coaching staff, and enjoying themselves. It looked like a big it just kind of looked like that was already going to happen. Once he decommitted from Texas Tech, it was pretty obvious what was about to happen. The crystal ball went to Oklahoma really quick, and I had it locked in myself. And from what I was hearing from over there, now what Oscar was talking about was that he didn't see the point in it. Now you got to realize that Oscar is a Texas Tech guy, so it's understandable. And what I would tell you is that with Joey McGuire, it wouldn't have been a bad idea for him to stick with Texas Tech. You got to understand, though, it's just like a lot of those kids from West Texas, not a lot of those kids get an opportunity to go play at a place like Oklahoma, Texas. You've got a few here and there. Guys like Cedric Benson that went to Texas, obviously. Oklahoma kids are a little fewer and further between. Jeff Levy was a kid from that same area out of Andrews, Texas, which is just down the road from where Ivan Carry-On lives in Odessa, playing for Odessa High School. This is a big-time get, though, for Oklahoma. He is, again, a 4-star, 6'6", 200 pounds, very athletic, got some speed to him. You know, if he were to put some weight on, you might see him he could be one of those hybrid tight end types that, but I still feel like he's still a receiver. That makes 2 6'6" wide receivers on this Oklahoma roster. Jaden Gibson being the other. Obviously, we're still waiting on him to kind of show up and get some confidence about him. I think that's all it is with him. He's dropped a lot of footballs. Just, you know, he dropped a couple even in the spring game. I think he's had just some jitters and stuff like that. But this competition should make him better. And I feel like all he's got to do is catch one and get him a touchdown. And all of a sudden, you know, you get that confidence of who you are, and you know, never look back again. I feel like but sometimes the lights are too bright for certain kids. If you get in your own way, which happens with kids sometimes, that could be part of the problem. In any event, I think the other part of it, the reason why Carry On may have been looking to make the switch. Now, obviously, you don't have to think too hard into it. And I think this is what Oscar was saying on the video earlier, was that, hey, there's going to be enough footballs to go around at Texas Tech. They still run the air raid. You know, that's the offense that they run as well. And they've got some good quarterbacks coming in. Is it as good as Jackson Arnold? I don't think so. But they do have some solid quarterbacks that are obviously Tyler Shuck. He's going to be the starter this year. They've got Baron Morton locked in to probably start next season. But then you just got done with an Elite 11 guy that impressed everybody. And you know, this is a deal where you've got to yeah, so yeah, and then after Baron Morton, I mean, they've got a guy that came in as a three-star into the Elite 11 finals, at least from Rivals. 247 had him at a 4, but he goes in and he was the most impressive guy to not win the thing, winning 2 of the events there at Elite 11. We're talking about Hammond, quarterback Hammond out of Hutto. This guy is just, I mean, another one of those guys that he's just plays his Will Hammond. Just, I mean, he had a big arm. The events that he won was for velocity, and then he had control of what was going on. This kid looks like he's going to be good. But again, you've got 4-star. You've got a guy that's probably going to be a 5-star in the 2025 class coming. You've got Michael Hawkins, who's a high 4-star out of Allen, and soon to be out of Frisco Emerson for his senior year. They're both committed to Oklahoma. You know, you got 2 years for Kevin Sperry. You know, he's going to be there but he's going to be a 5-star, no doubt about it. He's already a 4 and a high 4 at that. And if you watch him spin it, it's real. So, I mean, if you're talking about the best quarterbacks, and then plus you're getting a chance to go play in the SEC rather than the Big 12. Now, the other part of it is it's looking a lot like the number 1 receiver, and they've gotten a couple guys. Micah Hudson, number 1 receiver in the state of Texas, has canceled his official visit to the University of Texas, which was supposed to be this week. Not happening now. And this comes after the same weekend of the Champ U barbecue when Ivan Carry-On was there in Oklahoma. He was at Texas Tech. He is a legacy. His father played for Texas Tech as well. Micah Hudson is the real deal. And I'm guessing that, you know, maybe that's, and they also have another 4-star that's already signed out of this same class. It looks like, you know, Carry On may have felt like it was better for him to move for that reason. I mean, any number of reasons could have been it, but it could have just been because you want to go to Oklahoma and play in the SEC also. That being said, as I said on the video, listen, Joey's doing a great job. His staff is doing a fabulous job. If, you know, to be able to even be in competition with Oklahoma and Texas for a lot of these kids is big time. They just, you heard what Oscar was saying on the last video. If you didn't, make sure you check that one out. I'll leave the link right here for you. Make sure you check all that out, because I'm telling you, in this situation, just being in the picture, I mean, Texas and OU are going to not be in the conference, and they're taking a step forward. And as Oscar said, this is a time that he is able to. Joey McGuire's been pulling commitments and getting into rooms that you just don't expect him to get into. Two big guys coming out of the Houston area, they're going to be going to Texas Tech. These are defensive tackle guys that are both like 6'7", 250, 260, and ready. These are big players that you don't tend to get. It's a lot of those under the radar guys that Texas Tech usually gets. That's not the way things are going now. So just to be involved in it, and that they're going after the same guys, it's pretty big time for Tech. But in the end, I can see why Carry On would have wanted to go to Oklahoma instead. Listen, there's no guarantee of what's going to happen by the time signing day rolls around anyway. But as I said, it's a big pickup for Oklahoma. They kind of needed it there. There's a lot of unproven talent, as we've talked about, in that wide receiver room. But everywhere else along that offense looking good. That offensive line is gonna hold itself up well. Bill Bedenbaugh knows what he's doing. The guy puts out first rounders more often than any other offensive line coach in the country. I know I've heard a lot of that from around the fan base, around Twitter, some of these other places. Let's not be crazy. They're going to be fine. Big pickup though. Ivan Carry On, 6'6", 200-pounder. Looks like he's going to be the real deal. It's a big move for Oklahoma. Big for Oklahoma. And when at some point, UCF, if you're going to get to this level, you're going to have to start recruiting, not just on the level of Oklahoma. You're going to have to try to catch up to Texas Tech. If you're going to talk all this smack, Tech and Kansas State and Okie Light and Baylor. And chances are, Coach Prime, you guys are pounding your chest an awful lot, but I don't think that you got the fifth best coach in the league now before Coach Prime or Coach Witt show up from Utah and Colorado if they end up in the league. Right now, you're not the fifth best. Gus isn't the fifth best. You guys are toast, man. But keep on talking. It'll be fun. I'm here for it. Anyway, thanks a lot, guys, for coming in. Let me know what you think. Hey, I'll tell you what, Oklahoma fans. Am I right about this? Do you feel like this is little brother-esque what we're hearing from these guys? Little brother-esque? Let me know what you think about that. And give me a win total. Give me a win total. What does the first year in the Big 12 look like for this UCF team? You can give me all the records if you want for all four, but mostly I just want UCF. What do you think they do? Give me a record in their conference record. See how they're doing it. We'll figure it out. I'm telling you, I think 6-6 would be a good season for them. I do. I think 6-6 will be a good season. We're going to find out. Guys, thanks a lot. Make sure you hit the like button if you hadn't already. We are getting close to our 2,000 subscribers. We're about 63 away. 63 away now from 2,000. If you know anybody who loves college football, send them to us. We're doing a lot more Texas Tech stuff. We're still covering a lot of Colorado things as well. Jump in there, check us out, give us the like. Make sure you hit that subscription button. We'll see you on the next one. Hey, you guys all know the drill, right? Say it with me. Smash that red subscriber button. Like our videos. And don't forget. Hey, you guys all know the drill. Make sure you get in here, hit that like button. And hey, even if you're from UCF and you're watching this now, let me just say one more time. Sorry, not sorry. 6-6 is about as good as it's going to get for you guys. I just feel like that's how it's going to be. And yeah, I don't know. This is silly stuff. Silly stuff. Guys, let me know what you think in there. UCF, you come in, tell me what your record's going to be. Tell me, you UCF fans, you tell me what your records are going to be too. I want to hear what everybody has to say. Oklahoma, what will the UCF fans get out of their football team in year one in the Big 12? What is your prediction? I want to hear it. Let me know. And do you feel like they're acting like a little brother? Like it's I'm telling you, that's the familiarity that I'm getting from it. It's that Oklahoma State, Texas A&M inferiority little brother complex. That's exactly what's going on here. You could almost hear it coming right out of Gus Malzahn on Wednesday. But tell me what you think. Am I crazy, or does it sound right to you, Oklahoma fans? Texas fans, what do you think? UCF. See you on the next one. Hey, you guys all know the drill, right? Say it with me. Smash that red subscriber button. Like our videos. And don't forget to ring the notification bell so you don't miss one moment of the Hall of Fame College Football Podcast. Hey, we even have amazing pod merchandise right here in our store. Hey, while you're here, don't forget to check out all these other amazing channels and subscribe to them too.